Hello there, Year 5s, it's Mr. Conway here. Now for today's how-to guide, for today's maths lesson, you are going to be multiplying a non-unit fraction by an integer. So just before we start, we're going to discover and discuss some of that language. Now we've already done a unit fraction, and this is an example of a unit fraction, 1/5. This is a unit fraction, because if you look at our numerator, it is 1. 1 unit, it's just 1. But today's lesson we're going to be looking at non-unit fractions, and here is an example of a non-unit fraction, 3/5. This is a non-unit fraction. Why do you think this is a non-unit fraction? That's right, the 3 as my numerator is not 1, so anything that's not the number 1, anything that's greater than 1 will be a non-unit fraction when it's the numerator. So now we've discussed that language, let's have a go at an example of multiplying a non-unit fraction by an integer. And remember, the integer is just a whole number. And the question I'm going to be looking at is 2 multiplied, or 2 lots of 3/10. 2 is my integer, 3/10 is my fraction, 10 is the denominator, 3 is the numerator. This is a non-unit fraction. Now, I've already shown you a video how to do this, but I'm going to give you a quick reminder on how to multiply fractions. First of all, look at my fraction. I'm going to draw a bar. Here's my bar. 10 is my denominator, so how many parts make the whole? 10 parts make the whole. 3 is my numerator, so I'm going to shade in 3. 1, 2, 3. But how many lots of 3/10 do I need? I need 2 lots of 3/10. So I'm going to draw another bar underneath, doing my best just to keep it roughly the same. Right then, and that was me humming and counting at the same time, in case you thought I was being a bit weird and odd. Now then, 3 is still my numerator, so I'm shading 3. So here I have 2 lots, of 3/10. And if I put these together, I get an answer of 6/10. So this is my answer. 6/10 is 2 multiplied by 3/10. But looking at my fraction of 6/10, I think, well I know in fact, this can be simplified. Remember, when we work with maths, we want to keep things quite small. So mathematicians are quite lazy. We want to keep things as small as possible because it's easier to work with. 6/10, I now need to simplify this fraction to a small, it's the same amount, the same value, but a smaller numerator and a smaller denominator. And this is how you do it. 6/10, I'm going to draw this as a bar. If I was to draw 6/10 as a bar, I'm going to do it over here. I'm still working as 10 is my denominator, so I'll split my bar. 10 parts make the whole. And this time I need to shade in 6, because that's my answer. 6 is my numerator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this bar is the same, I'll just put it on the side here, as 6/10. But I want to make this smaller. The value will stay the same, but my numerator and denominator, I need them to be smaller. So the first step to do, I'm going to draw a bar underneath. I'm not going to fill it in just yet. I'm going to draw my bar underneath. I'm going to look at my denominator. I now need to find a factor that is the same in 10 as it is in 6. So what factor do 6 and 10 both share? So I need to have a look. First of all, I'm going to start with the number 2. I need to find, oh actually, an even easier way of doing this, I've just remembered from our lesson on common denominators, I'm going to write the factors of both 6 and 10. So if I do a little table here, 6 and 10, I need to write the factors of 6 and 10. Well, 1 is a factor of 6, 2 is a factor of 6, 3 is a factor of 6, and 6 is a factor of 6. Now looking at the number 10, factors of 10. 1 is a factor of 10, 2 is a factor of 10, 5 is a factor of 10, and of course 10 is a factor of 10. So these are all numbers that can be divided into the whole number. And I can see there is a common factor, 2. So I need to divide my numerator and my denominator both by the same, both by 2. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. Whatever you do to your numerator, you do to the denominator. So I'll start with my denominator. I need to do 10 divided by my common factor, 2, which will give me 5. So this time, 5 parts will make the whole. Next, I'm going to look at my numerator. 6 divided by my common factor, 2, which equals 3. 6 was my numerator. It's now converted equivalent to 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to rip out these calculations. I mean, actually, even when you're simplifying fractions, your mathematical calculations are quite simple, really. But it's just the concept of what this video is about. This bar, 3 is my numerator, 3 is shaded in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 make the whole, 3/5. So therefore, 6/10 is equivalent to 3/5. And there's our correct answer. So for today's lesson, these are the stages you need to do. First of all, multiply your integer and your non-unit fraction, and then have a look to see if you can simplify it using this method. I love using fractions, and some of you have already been sending me a lot of fraction work. Keep sending them in. And if you need any more tutorials or further explanation about these videos, especially about simplifying fractions, do let me know. Otherwise, year 5, have a cracking good day.